Francis has very kindly agreed to take us off on reforms in Ukraine. Let's all be as free and frank as we should be on this subject. Francis, give us your take on the present state of development.
Well, I guess it's good afternoon by now, so good afternoon, everyone. Very happy to be here. I regret that I'm just in Odessa for a couple of hours, and it's always a city that has a way of attracting and retaining people. And so it's a great pleasure to be here. Last time I was here was to open the EBRD office in Odessa a few months ago, and it's been a great event for us. Now, coming to reforms in Ukraine, I think I'd like to say a few things that perhaps are going to be surprising to some in the room, because I'd like to praise the reform success in this country. I'm usually focusing on the way forward, and therefore focusing on the criticism and on the spurring government into action. But I think it's actually a good time to step back and reflect and realize that over the past 3 years, the country has done a number of things which we all thought were impossible 3 years ago. When I came to this country as the EBRD managing director, one of the first meetings I had was about the banking sector, which was a bloody mess at the time. And my team said, don't even think that you can engage the authorities around Privatbank situation. It will never be resolved. It will never be nationalized. Okay. And that's some of the best experts in the country saying this. Well, maybe they didn't know it was impossible, but these guys still did it, right? And so that deserves a lot of praise. And it's not the only place where we've seen extraordinary progress in this country. And frankly, if someone had given me a prediction of where we would be 3 years down the road, 3 years ago, I would probably have told them, you're probably dreaming. Be it with the energy sector, be it with the corruption, be it with the banking sector. Even, today people say the country's not made a lot of progress in the fight against corruption. And that may be true when it comes to reforming the Prosecutor General's office. That may be true when it comes to the tax police. In my book, the tax police doesn't need any more lethal weapons than a calculator and a notebook computer. There's no need for a balaclava and a Kalashnikov in the arsenal of a tax police. But that is certainly unreformed. But that doesn't mean that corruption has not been efficiently fought through removing opportunities for corruption, through removing a number of mechanisms through which people were getting rich, starting with the price of gas, actually. There was huge arbitration between the price of gas for individuals and the price of gas for companies in this country. Now that the prices are aligned, an entire industry of corrupt gas deliveries has had to die, and that's a good thing. So a lot of praise, I would say, for the efforts that these successive governments and a number of people in the country have made. I also like to mention, of course, the public procurement Prozoro system, which we helped finance and set up, and is a good success. Now, someone disagrees? But now, and there's more on the way, I'd like to say. For example, there's a privatization law that's going to hit Parliament soon, and I'd like to support it. It's a good law. It's probably, you can always have a perfect law, but the good is sometimes the enemy of the perfect. This is a good law. IFIs have worked together with the government on that law, and should really be supported. If it passes, it's going to transform the way we do privatizations. Privatization has been a failure in this country. We tried twice to privatize the Odessa fertilizer plant. They say a definition of madness is to try the same thing over and over again and to expect a different result. So it's time to try in a different way. And this law provides us the opportunity to try in a different way. So I'd like to say this is a good effort that's coming. I'm not going to comment on the pension reform. It's more for the World Bank and the IMF, frankly, to comment. But these are good things coming up. Now, there's one point of attention, though, where I'm a bit more concerned. The country was very, very successful issuing a bond this week. And that means it's more comfortable. And if it's more comfortable, does it mean that there's going to be less reform orientation? and that it's going to go into election mode, and that, as people would say, winter is coming. And in common with the famous show, winter can last longer than 3 months in that case, right? Because then winter would last until the next election, which is 18 months from now. And I'd like to say it's our duty, it's our responsibility, together with reformers in government, to not let that happen. We have setbacks. This week, the board members of Naftogaz, the independent board members of Naftogaz, resigned with a very explicit explanation as to why they were resigning. This is a crisis that needs to be resolved. We're working on resolving it. And I hope that we can make progress out of the crisis as we've done in the past. And so I'd like to say, this is not the time to give up on Ukraine. This is not the time to despair. On the contrary, it's the time to engage more, to achieve more.